Hi, Elena.
Hi everyone.
How are you today?
I'm good. It's pretty cloudy here in Berlin,
Are you in
but
Berlin?
yeah, but the weekend was amazing.
Good for you. We were just talking with guys that it's never too many Yelenas in the studio.
That's true.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today. Hope you're excited and all pumped for the presentation.
Yeah, sure. Let's
Cool.
start.
Right. Well, all yours.
So, hi everyone. My name is Yelena, as another Yelena announced. I'm a senior user acquisition manager at Wooga. Wooga, it's a mobile game developer. We are based in Berlin. We're around 250 employees. All over the world work together to create story-driven casual games. Our most known games are Pearl's Peril and June's Journey. It's a hidden object games. And if you want to join our awesome team, we're actively hiring now. You can go to wooga.com and come level up with us. So today I will be covering topic of creatives for retargeting. First of all, let's start with what is retargeting. So retargeting, we use retargeting as an umbrella term for all activities we do. It's a re-engagement activities, reacquisition activities, and reactivation activities. For the re-engagement, it's all UA activities aimed at preventing lapsed user or increasing engagement with particular game aspects. Under the reacquisitions, we understand all the UA activities which aim to bring back lapsed users back to the game. And under reactivation is all activities aimed at getting players that never finished the initial funnel back to the game. So first of all, I'm sure all of you and most of you as a UA manager or retargeting manager ask ourselves a question. Is there a difference between creatives for UA and retargeting? Answer to this question is yes and no. Definitely, there is a certain creatives which might work for both UA and retargeting, but let's focus today on the key differences between these two. So I highlighted 4 different types of differences. So first of all, retargeting creatives is very close connected to the LiveOps, and this is important. And you always need to know the knowledge of your user motivation, like why they play your game. There is always emotional connection between your users and your game, because users already know what is your game about. And sometimes incentive reward is helps. So let's look at all of them in detail. LiveOps, it's very crucial part of current game development stage. So at Wooga, we plan our LiveOps calendar in ahead. So we have different events, different sales events, different decoration sets events, competitions, social events. And for each of them, we create a retargeting campaign calendar or specific retargeting creatives to highlight them. So in our case, we have a decoration, which we change every single month. So user have ability to have some new decorations on their beautiful island. And we created the specific retargeting creative to show users this LiveOps event. So next one is you always need to know motivation of users, not only why your user playing your game, which might be crucial for UA, but also why users stop playing your game. So in this particular creative, we targeted users who stopped playing the game because of end of content. So there was no more hidden object scenes to play. And last year we introduced event. During that time, users have ability to get access to unpublished hidden object scenes. You already know your users already played your game, so use that emotional connection between your users and your game. Our games are hidden object story driving games, so our users know all about the characters, all about story behind our characters, relations between them. So sometimes with just simple statics images, show them, okay, this is the characters you like, just come back to the game and let's play a game. And the last one, if incentivize ads maybe not best choice when you run UA, it really works for the retargeting. At our games, we have welcome back to give reward when we give some incentivize reward for our users who didn't play our game for a certain period of time. So moving forward to the creative analysis, obviously this is hot topic, not only for retargeting, but for UA in general. So I want to focus now on the retargeting methodology, which we use for analyzing retargeting creatives. So first of all, I'll give you explanation how we look at the data. So when we look at the data, we split them into two time frames. So we look at the daily metrics and we have monthly metrics. Reason why is for all retargeting campaigns, we always calculate incremental uplift, which we do on a monthly basis. If we do it on a daily basis, the volatility is really high and most of the metrics will be not very accurate. So on a daily basis, we look at the impressions, click re-engagement trends. We look at the click-through rate, re-engagement rate, cost per re-engagement, and cost per click. For monthly metrics, we usually look at cost per purchase, LTV, and we compare different concepts, different creative types, and sometimes do placement analysis as well. So just to make sure that all this data in line, we strictly follow creative naming convention. We combine all this data from the creative name and upload in our internal BI so we can analyze the data. So usually our creative convention name consists of concept name, iteration name, creative type, size like square or vertical, languages, and end card. So there is end card, no end card, or maybe certain type of end card. So we combine all this data and create the daily graphs, which we usually update on a daily basis. So we have a fresh data every day to analyze. We collect impressions, click, and re-engagements, so we can see which particular concept or creative type or size drive most engagement, and which one maybe stop delivering impressions, etc. For the click-through rate and your engagement rate, we built similar graphs, click-through rate and the re-engagement rate. In addition to the previous graphs, we add average trend line, which is in black here. So this way we know which concept or type have CTR below our average. So in this particular case, if you see concept 5 is not doing very great, so CTR is below our average, and re-engagement rate is also quite low. For the cost per engagement and cost per click, we have pretty same graphs as the previous one. So we have a average trend line and all the other concepts or types or iterations as graphs. So this way we know which particular concept cause increase in the price, and we can optimize and iterate accordingly. For monthly analysis, we aggregate all this data by concept, by iteration, by creative type, by size, by language, and by placement, to see which one actually works the best. So we add additionally LTV and cost per purchase data, and that's way, like in this example concepts, we can clearly see which concepts work the best, which one not really, and we can decide with which one we can proceed next month, or which one maybe will not continue producing. So I shared some numbers, what we use for the analysis, and based on that numbers, I want to share what the key findings we have from our previous experiments. So first of all, I already mentioned that we have a welcome back gift, which we are running inside of our game. So for this particular concept, we saw 50% lower cost per re-engagement and 25% higher re-engagement rate. So this particular concept drives a lot of users. And if you ask me what about monetization of those users, we see that the monetization metrics are in line with any other concepts we are running. So this was really good finding for us to use in a future creative strategy. Next, collaborate with your marketing department, with your community department, with your CRM department. So we was running the campaign for a new feature we introduced inside of the game. We had this big long marketing trailer. We made it a shorter version and tested for retargeting specifically. And we saw 3 times lower cost per re-engagement and 2 times higher re-engagement rate. So for this particular iteration was really, really engaging. It drives a lot of users compared to the other iterations within this concept. UA, test your UA creatives. So most of you probably do a lot of A/B tests on the UA side. It's always ongoing. So learn on this and maybe bring some of the best performing one into the retargeting. So we saw that those UA creatives brings 20% lower cost per re-engagement, 40% higher re-engagement rate, and 35% lower cost per purchase. So this is really engaging and cost efficient. So don't be afraid to test it and see what works and what doesn't work. So to summarize, know your LiveOps calendar and test different aspects of it. Don't be afraid to test. Know your users, know why your user play your game, why what aspects of the game they like, and why users stop playing your game. Give users some rewards. Thanks them for being with you for a long time, and thanks for coming back and playing your game again. Collaborate with different departments. So it's always good to know what works on the other side of the big marketing engagement strategy, and you always can learn from it. And as I said, probably UA side have a lot of A/B tests going, and you can test the similar approach or some of the best one on the retargeting side as well. So it was, I think, pretty short talk. Thank you all for being with me.
Thank you very much, Elena. Thank you for the presentation. We do have, as a matter of fact, a couple of questions for you.
Yeah.
The very first one, when do you think is the right time to start retargeting?
So there is no like exact questions. Okay, it's already like 2 months of the game. You need to start retargeting, but I say trust your data. We started retargeting when we started to see that the cost per install it started increasing, and it's getting harder to acquire new users. It's just like getting more challenging. You can see the trends like on Facebook, for example, that your CPMs is increasing, your reach is getting lower. So this kind of like small signs already tell you like, yeah, maybe it's time to test it. If I'm not sure, I would say just run incrementality tests just to see if it really works for you in terms of like uplift. You can test it for 1 month. If there's no uplift, maybe it's time, it's not the right time to do it now. But if you see the uplift, you can continue working on it.
Thank you very much. And well, continue the topic. How many times do you believe can a user be retargeted? Is there such number, or like in your experience?
I don't think there is a like exact number how many times. I know like a lot of if we are talking about the impression limit, so most of like DSPs or the Facebook recommend to do it like below 4 times a day. I'm not sure it's the best practice, but we try to keep it like around 2 impressions a day. In general speaking, how much time user can come back to your game, I think this is really depends on how your games is changing, first of all, and the second is how much like retargeting effort you put on. Some users might lapse for like 7 days, then we remind them, they come back, continue playing, enjoying the game, then I don't know, went for the vacation and then coming back again. So this user already came back like 2 times, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't worth trying to remind this user that, hey, your favorite game is here.
Right. Thank you very much. One more question from Roberto Rodriguez. How do you decide to make a sequel with new features, or just add features to bring attention to the base game?
I would say it's more product related question, but I can answer that. Usually like smaller features like events, it's LiveOps calendar. We always try to refresh our game, so our users don't feel bored, like, okay, nothing to do inside of the game. For the bigger features, obviously, like our product team constantly working, trying to make our game even better than